Don't be shy, 'cause life won't bring you down too far.
Razabani for IFL TV in association with MTK Global. With me, we've got the one and only, the notorious Sam Jones. Sam, happy Friday.
Happy Friday to you, mate.
How are we doing?
I'm all right, mate. How are you?
Yeah, I'm good. Up to much?
Just same old boxing. Trying to make some cool fights. We've done some. Yesterday was a crap day, but we pulled it back today, and everything's going running smoothly today. But that's just life in general, isn't it?
Absolutely. Sam, I know the guys from the team, Cougar and Umar, must have caught up with you obviously over the last couple of months. First time I'm catching up with you. How have the last few months been?
Yeah, all right, mate. It's just adapting to everything, all the changes, and it's the new world that we're all in at the moment. So it's takes some getting used to, because I'm used to like being 100 miles an hour. So obviously when you're like doing a lot more work from home and stuff, it's takes some getting used to. But everyone's in the same predicament, aren't they? Some people are in a lot worse predicament than others. So you just got to be grateful for everything right now, haven't you?
Sam, can I ask you to turn your phone landscape if that's possible?
Wait for... Oh, wait. Better?
Yeah, much better. Sam, big weekend of boxing. Saturday night, two different shows actually. Mick Hennessy actually on Channel 5, terrestrial TV, hand, pay-per-view, two different type of events. The big fight, Dillian Whyte versus Alexander Povetkin. Dillian's been away for the last 5 months in Portugal, enjoying the sun, changing his team, bringing in different types of sparring partners. What have you made of the whole kind of first build-up of the whole pay-per-view event?
What do you mean? The build-up to the show, or the fact Dillian's training in Portugal?
The build-up to the show.
Yeah, it's been fantastic. Listen, all promoters need a pat on the back at the moment, because they're pulling shows out with not much turnover. Do you know what I mean? They'll be lucky to kind of break. I'm sure they're lucky to even break even at the moment. You got to understand that this week's a pay-per-view for Dillian, which is rightfully so, in my opinion. People say, oh, it shouldn't be pay-per-view, but like, would you rather pay or would you rather not watch it? I'd rather watch it personally. Do you know what I mean? I'm not getting anything out, but I'm a boxing fan, and I'm telling you, I'll be paying for it as a fan. And I like watching, because I mean, have you ever seen Dillian in any stinkers? Because I haven't, or Povetkin for that matter. So it's either Povetkin getting knocked on his arse, or he's knocking someone else on his arse. Dillian gets knocked on his arse. Dillian knocks people. It's going to be a barnstorm, so you can't really complain. Katie Taylor against Possum was possibly one of the best fights I've ever seen, period, women or male. So I'm not complaining about that. There's that Zach Chelly, who's always in thrillers himself. Cody, my guy Cody beat Zach in a very tough fight. But Zach's always in tear-ups. So that's going to be an entertaining way to open the show. You've got that nutcase that Dillian manages. What's his name? The bold guy, Babic. We've got him fighting an angry, bold man. He is, isn't he? What an angry, bold man he is. Fighting, what's his name? Shondell Winters. And he's bang up for it. I've heard from a lot of people. I know the guy's manager, Shondell Winters. He is bang up for it. So I'm excited about that this week. And Mick Hennessy's show, I'm excited for that fight as well. I'm going to have to do switcheroo, because I'm a big fan of Shakhan Pitters, because he's such a tall guy, but he doesn't fight like a tall guy. He at least look at his fight against Dex Spellman. He likes a tear up. So that fight there is going to be a great fight. So it's a whole great weekend of boxing.
We saw Dillian Whyte and Povetkin go on the scales today. Povetkin, I believe, was 16 stones. I believe that's a little bit lighter than his weight against Hunter back in Saudi. Dillian Whyte actually lost a couple of stones. We saw him come in a career heaviest last December. So question one is there a lot of pressure here on Dillian? We know the WBC have announced yet again Dillian Whyte will be fighting the winner of Wilder Fury. Negotiation will start from the day after the fight. Free open negotiation. Yeah. So is there a lot more pressure now on Dillian because that fight's around?
100%. 100%. Povetkin's just here to spoil the party, isn't he? Povetkin's just rolling into somebody's and having a fight in somebody's garden. Nothing to lose for Povetkin. He's getting paid. And he can come and literally cement himself as the number one contender for the WBC world title. There's no pressure on Povetkin. People think he's old and past it. Dillian has been waiting a million days to be mandatory for the world title, and it could all be scuppered. I think Dillian's going to win, but I think he's going to have some scary moments in there, like he does in most of his fights. But Dillian is one tough bastard, and I think he'll get through it and win the fight on points, in my opinion. But I could be wrong. Like, I think that Dillian's got the power to knock Povetkin out, but Povetkin has also got the power to knock Dillian out. So it's a great fight. I'm looking forward to it, man. I'm a boxing fan above my job. I'm in boxing, and I'm privileged to be. So I love what I do. But I'm a boxing fan, just like you. I'm a boxing fan. And I'm looking forward to all the fights from the Chelly Cullen to Povetkin Whyte.
What about the concept of obviously Dillian changing his team? We know he worked with Mark Tibbs for a number of years. He's brought in Xavier, he's worked with a number of times before behind the fighting
Xavier
scene.
Miller, yeah. Xavier Miller.
And he's obviously brought in Dave Colwell as well as an extra fresh pair of eyes. Is that another challenge in the fighter's corner when they have a brand new team?
Yeah, it is. But listen, the way I always look at it, right? Mark Tibbs. I spoke to Mark Tibbs the other day, actually. Mark Tibbs I have him probably one of the best coaches in the country. Definitely top five. Because look what he's done with Dillian. Dillian was very raw before he went to Mark Tibbs. Very, very raw. And you look at Mark Tibbs, he's tidied him up. His jab's got a good jab now, Dillian. He always goes well to the body. So Dillian's always had that in his locker. But he's just the fundamentals. Dillian's fundamentals have been tightened up and that's down to Mark Tibbs. So great work from Mark Tibbs there. But people have to understand the fighters are the boss in the boxing business. Not me, not your managers, not your fucking coach. The fighter's the boss. And that's just the way I see it. Like, it's the fighter going in there, doing the work. And I think at the start, it might have been a bit like uncomfortable for Dillian to talk about it, or Mark to talk about it, but I'm sure they'll get together and they'll shake hands either way, because Mark's done a great job for Dillian. Do you know what I mean? Mark's done a great job for Dillian, and Dillian's also kind of went with Mark, and Mark's got that kind of platform as like he's been at the pay-per-view level with Dillian, so they've both done well for each other. Mark's never going to be short of work. Mark, I would love to work with Mark Tibbs, like with some of my fighters. Like, he's a great coach and a good person as well. But Dillian's got to do Dillian, and Mark's going to do Mark. And people read into it too much sometimes, and I think there's been a made or bust up. I bet it was something very small, and it just didn't work for Dillian. It didn't work for Mark. They both went their separate ways. Dillian's brought in Ruben Tabarez, who's a great strength and conditioning coach. And as you can see, look at the results. Dillian's looking chiseled and looking bang on. So Ruben's got to take a lot of credit for that. Whether that's going to affect his punch distance, who knows? But like, I think Dillian had to do something after his last fight against Wack, because he didn't look great on the scales. But yeah, he looks great. Dillian looks in a good place. He looks happy. And why not bring Dave Colwell in? You've got a new coach in there. I'm sure he's very good. Xavier Miller, I'm sure he knows what he's doing. But Dave Colwell's there. He's experienced. I know Dave and Dillian are friends. So that's a great decision, in my opinion. I know there's a saying, there's too many cooks in one kitchen. But I think Dave Colwell is just a second pair of eyes and just another a wise head in the corner. I think it's a great decision for Dillian.
I was speaking to Matthew Macklin yesterday about the diamond belt that the WBC said will be on the line. And he just shrugged off and said, it's just another way of sanctioning bodies to get sanctioning fees. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, a bit. I would agree. I would agree with that. There's too many belts in boxing. There should be one world title per every organization. Yeah, I don't like these interim things and all that. No. There should be one world champion, European champion, British champion, and because it kind of it's like you see all these kids, they've got these loads of these pretty looking belts, and yeah, they look great, but what do they really mean? They're just shiny belts, aren't they? I've got a load of football trophies, like I've got some from winning, and I've got a load of shit ones from like coming, whatever, just for taking part. Who wants a fucking taking part medal or a belt? Those ridiculous medals they give you for the runner-up, like no. You want to win the main belt, like. There's too many belts in the. You're laughing, but it's true, isn't it? There's too many belts in boxing, and that's why I mean, no. It's ridiculous for me. Dillian's way. If there's one person in the world that deserves a world title shot, it's Dillian Whyte. So he needs to get one, doesn't he? Whoever it's against, whether it's a flipping vacant title. What I don't want to happen is Tyson to get elevated to that franchise nonsense and Dillian fight a vacant belt, unless it's against Joe Joyce. But yeah, so it's yeah. In a nutshell, I'll wrap that up. There's too many belts in boxing. I agree with Matthew Macklin.
I think it's very clear. Frank Warren and Bob Arum did say that we're going to apply to the WBC for Tyson Fury to be elevated
franchise,
and I believe Eddie Hearn has already countered that and said that is not going to happen. But what Tyson Fury can do is just say vacate and say I don't want the belt anymore. Would you be disappointed?
That's for me, right? For me, this is my opinion. I want to see Tyson Fury against Anthony Joshua for all the belts, yeah? But say if no belts are on the line, that's the biggest fight in heavyweight boxing, regardless. It's just a shame that belt's not on the line. And I think it's a shame for Dillian as well. I'm very good friends with Tyson, and I really like Dillian. Me and Dillian got on very well. So I'd be ashamed for Dillian if Dillian didn't get to fight the champion, yeah, which is obviously Tyson Fury right now. And I think the build-up with Whyte and Fury would be a better build-up than Joshua Fury. I'm not saying the fight would be better, but I just think it'd be more fun because there's a bit of needle there. You know, Joshua's like, he's respectful, kind of goes through the motions kind of thing. Yeah, brilliant, all that kind of thing. And like, very like, stay humble kind of thing. Like Tyson Fury is a great talker. That's why him and Wilder gelled so well at the press conferences the first time around. The third fight, I don't want to see the third fight because I think Tyson's going to do the same thing to him again. I don't want to disrespect Wilder because I still think he's top 3 heavyweights in the world still. Most devastating puncher in the heavyweight division. But I don't want to see that again. Tyson got robbed the first fight and Tyson was overweight. Do you know what I mean? Tyson was still like on his weight loss journey in that fight. He was nowhere near his physical best, and he still beat him in my opinion. So I want to see him fight Dillian Whyte or Anthony Joshua next, because Tyson Fury don't need any other fights than that.
Do you want to get a reaction to Dubois? Obviously, we know he's going to be fighting Joe Joyce in the not too distant future. He made some comments this week about Dillian Whyte and said, "I will knock Dillian Whyte out." And it seems like they've been talking a lot about
every other fight other than Joe Joyce.
Yeah.
Every other fight other than Joe Joyce. Yeah, it's nonsense, isn't it? I could say, I want to beat Usain Bolt in a 100-meter sprint or whoever's the flipping champion nowadays, and I want to do that. I want to do that. But the reality is, I'm not going to get to do it. Daniel Dubois is 22 years old. Dillian Whyte, I think, 32 years old. He's been waiting 1,000 days for a world title shot. He's not fighting Daniel Dubois. Stop mentioning Dillian Whyte. Just got to all get real, haven't we? Chisora's not going to fight Joe Joyce because we've offered him to fight 3 to 4 times with 3 different promoters. He doesn't want to fight Joe Joyce. Respect to that. No problem. I wouldn't want to fight Joe Joyce if I was Chisora. So Chisora's fighting Usyk. We've all got to get real. We're signed to fight Daniel Dubois. That's the fight we want. If we don't get that fight, I want Luis-Ortiz for Joe Joyce. I want Frank Warren to make the Luis-Ortiz fight. We're not in it to mess around. Why was simply there because Joe had not been in the ring for a year, and we said yes at the first opponent, the Frank Warren's matchmaker, Jason McCory. I looked at BoxRec, I was like, yeah, we'll have him, no problem. I didn't even, I scanned it. I just had a look. I didn't even look who he fought because Joe will beat anyone at these kind of levels. So we just thought, let's make it. But now we're in a situation. Joe's 34. We want all the best fights. Joe wants all the best fights. He wants to beat Daniel Dubois. That's the fight we were focused on. But who knows? If not, let's get Luis-Ortiz. I want. He's a boogeyman. Nobody calls out Luis-Ortiz. I've not heard one heavyweight ever, other than Deontay Wilder, say they want to fight Luis-Ortiz. We'll fight Luis-Ortiz. No problem.
Sam, what is the situation with the Dubois fight? I know it's been moved to October, but it seems it's very unlikely we're going to get a full stadium and arena of crowds. So what are you actually relying on? Is it half a stadium? Is it 1,000 people? What is it that's going to drive that fight?
I can't actually say too much at the moment. But look, the contracts are signed to fight Daniel Dubois, and rightfully so, Frank wants a crowd for the fight. I mean, we're happy to do the fight behind closed doors, Frank's garden. Do you know what I mean? My garden. Doesn't matter. Like, Joe will fight Daniel Dubois anywhere. And I'm sure Daniel will do the same. But, like, Frank, we need, they want a main crowd. Who knows when we're going to get a big crowd, hopefully in October. But it's very frustrating at the moment, especially when you see, oh, Dubois, oh, Whyte will be a great fight. Like, what are you talking about? He's fighting Povetkin on Saturday and then he's mandatory for the world title. What are you talking about? Stop concentrating on people that you're not ever going to fight. You're contracted to fight Joe Joyce. We're focused on that. But if that's why I posted a picture of Joe v. Ortiz the other day. I was like, let's get cracking with that then. Because I know Luis Ortiz. If you rang Luis, I know Luis Ortiz's manager. If we message Luis Ortiz's manager and say, do you want to fight? They'll be like, hell yeah, let's get it on. Luis Ortiz doesn't get called out. It's the easiest fight to make in world boxing.
Well, we'll wait and see. Sam, internet connection isn't great at the moment, but I'm just going to finish off with this. What is your prediction on Saturday night, Dillian Whyte and Povetkin? What happens? How does it finish? And who wins?
I think Dillian Whyte wins on points. I think both men get knocked over.
There you have it, live and direct. Any plans for Friday night, Sam?
Trying to lay off the cake. I'm back with a personal trainer on Monday, so I had the chubby checkers.
Sam, I appreciate you jumping on this afternoon, my man. Stay well, stay healthy, and I'm sure we'll catch up with you very soon. Sam Jones for IFL TV. Thank you very much.
Pleasure.